This is the Gossamer Gear Murmur 36-liter backpack. It's considered one of the lightest and most affordable ultralight backpacks on the market today. But does the Murmur actually deserve the title of the ultimate ultralight backpack? In the world of backpacking, every ounce counts. In finding the perfect pack that balances weight, functionality, and comfort is kind of like finding the Holy Grail. So let's dive into the Murmur, starting with its specs, followed by its pros and cons, and finally, my opinion on whether this pack is actually worth buying. The Murmur is made of 30D nylon on the upper part and 70D nylon on the bottom. The main compartment holds 28 liters of gear, while the remaining pockets make up the total capacity of 36 liters. The body is highly water resistant and does a great job shedding light rain and water. It has an adjustable and removable hip belt with small pockets. This is a roll top style backpack with 2 downward compression straps, which are really the only means of compression on this pack. The J-shaped shoulder straps have no padding at all, but they are very breathable. The total weight of this backpack with the included sit pad and hip belt is 12.7 ounces. If you strip that all down and take it all away, it comes in at 8.1 ounces, which is just truly remarkable. The recommended weight capacity of this pack is 15 pounds for comfort, with a max capacity of 20 pounds. Technically, this is considered a hyperlight backpack, and it's one of the lightest and most affordable packs in its class, coming in at $185. So as you can see, it hits a lot of the marks that are important to ultralight backpackers. Now let's move on to the pros of this backpack. First off, it's ridiculously light. If you're looking to shed some serious weight from your big three, this pack will help you significantly, while still including a hip belt with pockets. Many other ultralight backpacks don't include pockets, or you have to buy them separately, which is just an additional cost and kind of annoying. It also has good capacity. 36 liters is more than enough for a typical thru hike or a several-day excursion in the woods. The outer mesh pocket is very stretchy and can hold a lot of gear you need to get to quickly. Having quick access to gear in your hip belt pockets is another great feature of the Murmur. A surprising feature of this backpack is just how comfortable it is, which I honestly did not expect. Considering it has no padding on the shoulder straps or on the hip belt, I was pretty amazed at how well it carried 14.5 pounds on a recent trip I took to the White Mountains of New Hampshire. It felt just fine, and I feel Gossamer Gear is being honest with its max capacity claim of 15 to 20 pounds. I also really like the fact that it sheds water well. Although it's not really waterproof, it's a feature that none of my other packs really have. I'm also impressed with the width of the collar on this pack. It's wider than the collar on my Gossamer Gear �ム𝐄𝐒, which is great because I carried a synthetic quilt on my trip that doesn't compress as well as down. And finally, the price. $185 is quite a deal for any ultralight pack. I hate ultra expensive ultralight gear, and the Murmur does a great job keeping your budget right on track. But it's not all rainbows and sunshine. Here are my cons, and a lot of them are kind of significant. First off, the durability. You need to treat this pack like a delicate flower. It's really that simple, and it definitely will not hold up if you abuse it. I would have huge reservations about actually taking this on a thru hike. The 30D nylon upper is basically see-through, and while the lower parts of this pack are made of 70D, like the bottom of the water bottle pockets, that's still pretty delicate. And speaking of water bottle pockets, they kind of suck. Especially if you have gear in the main body of the pack pressing against them. They're hard to use and really don't have enough stretch, in my opinion. Getting your water bottle out, although it's not impossible, is very difficult, at least it was for me. And a 1-liter water bottle is all the pocket can really hold, and even that's a stretch sometimes. And continuing with pockets, the hip belt pockets are small. It's great that they're included, don't get me wrong, but they won't hold anything significant, let alone a cell phone. Another thing that kind of bothered me was the shoulder straps and their lack of padding, and not because they were uncomfortable, but because they lacked any rigidity. Almost every time I put this pack on, the straps would get all twisted up, especially if I had any items attached to them, like my satellite communicator. It's really annoying and I struggled with it pretty much every single time I put this pack on. And I'm also a firm believer in shoulder strap pockets. I would have loved if Gossamer Gear included them on the Murmur like they do on the �ム𝐄𝐒. This would have been pretty beneficial and helpful considering how small the hip belt pockets are. But overall, would I recommend this pack? I kind of have a few answers to that question. If you're a beginner and you're just getting into ultralight backpacking, my answer is a firm no. Absolutely not. This pack requires you to have your gear dialed down to an almost perfect level. Considering they don't recommend carrying any more than 20 pounds in this pack, including food and water, that can be a tall order if you're new to ultralight backpacking. My same recommendation goes for thru hikers. Do not get this pack. I just think it's way too fragile and I feel like you'll just tear it to pieces. Even with proper care, I just don't feel like this is a durable enough pack. I'd be really scared to use it for 4 to 6 months straight. However, if you're a weekend warrior who's got their gear dialed in, it may be worth checking out this pack. I will say this though, just know what you're getting. This is not a typical ultralight pack and Gossamer Gear knows it, which is why they even say on their website to not buy this pack. I mean, how funny is that? Take care, subscribe, and I will see you in the backcountry.